a lot of people go to seminars, and they go to a seminar because they want the guy here to teach them stuff, right? And if it's a good seminar, the guy teaches them stuff. And if it's a bad seminar, they go, well, he didn't teach me anything. I kind of have a get-out-of-jail-free card on that as far as I'm concerned, because I don't look at it as it's my job to teach you anything. It's your job to learn. Because even if I teach you something you don't like, you can learn from that. Hey, you don't like it. I went to a seminar once where they were teaching sport sparring. A lot of this broken rhythm stuff. I have really tight calf muscles, and this kind of, I can do it for about that long. After that, I mean, I'll be 57 next month. After like 30 seconds of that, I'm like, yeah. So I learned from that method, although it's real good for some people when they do sport sparring, doesn't work for me. So what I'm saying is you take the responsibility for learning either stuff I teach or stuff that you just kind of think, well, I wouldn't do it that way. I'll do it that way. So that way, when you go away from here, you have no excuse. You cannot say, I didn't learn anything. Yeah, does that make some kind of sense? Next thing, I have a belief that a good technique should be one that you can do with a reasonable degree of efficiency at low power. Yeah, if I have to hit somebody as hard as I possibly can in order to get an effect, that to me, even if it works on the day that you need it, quote, on the street, unquote, is not a good technique from a practicing point of view, because it's difficult to practice. So what I would ask is that when you're practicing with your partners, with each other, tone it down a few notches. Yeah, it's nice if the same number of people who came get to go home. Okay, now for the next bit, I need a prop. Do you have the Lego brick, sir? Okay. Now, I genuinely could probably spend about 4 hours on this bit of what we're going to do today, but we're going to cut it down to about 10 minutes. So what I'm going to ask you to do is, from a martial arts perspective, I'm going to give you the Lego brick in a minute, and you're going to look at it, and you're going to experience it as a martial artist, and think what it might mean to you as a martial artist, what stories it can tell you as a martial artist, what hints it can give you as a martial artist. And then once you've done that, once you've experienced it, you're going to pass it on to the next person. And then after you've all done that, I will explain what the heck I'm talking about. Okay, now what I'd like you to share with me is your thoughts as a martial artist about this Lego brick. Talk to me. Who wants to? I think if we start off treating it as some of you did, as a weapon. Obviously, the bigger you are, the more fiddly it is. But if you were younger and smaller, to hold it like that as a sharp, scratchy edge, that's nice. As a distraction technique, if it managed to get a little bit higher towards the face, there we go. It's got possible use like that. Some of you may or may not have read some of the sort of Second World War martial pamphlets, and I remember reading one where they talked about holding a matchbox in your hand to strike with, and I think the idea was just to have something to focus on as you came in with a strike. So it's just like an intent thing, and we were chatting about intent yesterday. So there are physical attributes that it has. I kind of think about it more in perhaps the way you were thinking about it. I'm sorry, I've forgotten your name. John. The thing that's interesting about a Lego brick is you can have a Lego brick with lots of other Lego bricks to build a house or a car or anything. And if you think about that from a martial point of view, you have a technique that you put together with other techniques to get the result that you want in a situation. But I was also thinking about it. I want you to do something for me. I want you to look at that Lego brick, and I want you to... Sorry, let's come down here so everybody can see. Come in a little bit. I want you to look at that Lego brick. And I want you to imagine that Lego brick is a house, and I want you to imagine that in that house live really small people. And I want you to imagine that in the side of the Lego brick there's a door, and the door is going to open, and a couple of small people are going to come out, and they're going to wander around my hand, and they're going to go back in. Wave bye-bye to them, everybody. Right. Okay, fine. Safe, because there's people there trying to have breakfast. Right. First question. Were you all able to do that in your mind? Yeah? One of the things we're going to look at in a minute is a Tai Chi form. And the fact that it's a Tai Chi form really doesn't matter, because this applies to forms from karate, kung fu, taekwondo, any martial art. In order to make something useful, you have to use your imagination and your brain to put power and life into something. I can do the opening move of the Tai Chi form that I'm about to teach you, and I can do it like this while I'm talking to you. And it's kind of just a bloke waving his hands around. Or I can see in my mind's eye what I am attempting to achieve with those moves, and where the other person is in that form, if it's a martial form, or what I'm trying to do with my breath and my energy if I'm doing it as a health form. And the Chinese say the yi leads the qi, which translates as your intent leads your energy. Now, I'm not talking about energy in a metaphysical sense. I will try it. Nah, he's still standing. Yeah, oh, there's a little wobble there. Yeah, I'm not talking about energy in a metaphysical sense, because I can't do that. I keep practicing. It doesn't. One more time, just in case. Might be my lucky day. No, he ducked. Look, oh dear. Just destroyed half of Sartell, but he's still standing. So that doesn't work for me. For me, energy is what makes this push. Can you just root yourself a little bit? Right, this push, in order for it to push him, if I push, I'm trying to think how to do it wrong. Yeah, here we go. If I push that way, there we go. My push is pushing me back. Not very useful. The push needs to push into him. Yeah, and I tried not to ground myself too much there, but I'm trying to, my intent, my energy is now going towards him. Now that's not a martial technique at this stage. Right, we don't go up to people in a fight and go, bad person, right, because it ain't going to cut the mustard. But it's about getting your brain involved. Yeah, so that was the purpose behind the Lego brick. Right, now what I'm going to do, if you're happy, I'm going to teach you a short 8-move Tai Chi form. Right, and we'll just look at that, and we'll just do it from the point of view of, it's a nice little form for limbering yourselves up. It's a nice little form for health because of the breathing aspects. And then we'll move on and look at it from a martial point of view subsequent to that. Because, again, one of the things I believe is you can be the biggest, the toughest, the strongest, but if at age 50 you've got osteoarthritis, and if at age 60 you're confined to a wheelchair because of all the huge, tough training you did when you were 20, that's not too bright. I remember reading a thing which was talking about karate in Okinawa, and I don't remember the source, unfortunately, but what it said was in Okinawa, they believe if you died around 60 or 70, your karate was no good. If your karate's any good, then you live to be 90 or 90 plus, which is actually relatively common in Okinawa, which is part of Japan now, because they believe the martial art should not only keep you safe on the street, it should keep you safe from a health and fitness point of view. And that just kind of makes sense to me. Does that make sense to you guys? Right, so give yourselves a bit of space. You don't need a lot of space. You need about whatever that much space is. Right. Okay. Because it is a exercise form, you start with your feet together. If it was a combat form, you wouldn't start with your feet together because it'd be off balance. But we're doing it for exercise. Okay. Keep it real simple. Hands down by your sides, feet together. Okay. You bend really slightly to about shoulder width. Good. Your hands come away to like gunfighter position. and then they come up diagonally with your elbows relaxed and down, and then you bend your knees and your hands go down. And okay, we're just going to do that a couple of times. That's the opening move. So relax the right leg, step the left leg out, open, diagonally up to about shoulder height, drop the weight down. Good. Now, you're going to take your weight over to the left, that's over to that side, and you turn, so you're going to turn that way, right? Turn that way. Your right hand, hold on, let me do it this way. So you've got to here. This is like you're playing a piano. Take your weight to the left, turn, right hand comes up, left hand comes underneath, and you step in with your left foot. Now you can either bring your left foot up if your balance is good, or you'll often see me keep my left toe on the ground because my balance isn't as good as I'd like it to be. And then what you do is you turn towards me, you step out, and your right hand pats a big dog. Imagine you're patting a big dog. And your left hand, imagine you've got a mirror and you're looking at it to see how good looking you are. Wow, I've got some wrinkles. Okay, so let me show you that. Just relax for a second. Let me show you that from the front, and then I'll show it from the side, and then we can do it together. So I step, hands come apart, up, down, pivot. This move here is called Part the Wild Horse's Mane. Chinese like pretty names. So I'll do it. Which way did I do it? Did it this way? I'll do it this way just so you can see it from a different angle. We'll do it this way, then I'll end up turning towards you again. Here we go. Ah, there you are. You see, this one's patting a dog. Now, you know when you pat a dog, the dog is solid, yeah? So your hand shouldn't go, and it shouldn't be all sort of floppy. It should be like there's a dog there, yeah? This hand is holding a mirror, and that's where your attention is, yeah? Okay, so let's do that bit together. So I'll go this way so it's easier for you. So, bend the right leg a little, step out with the left foot. Hands come up, sink the body weight. Weight to the left, pivot, step in, come through, part wild horse's mane. Now we're going to go straight on to the next move. Now we reverse what we did. The left hand turns over, the right foot and the right hand come in, so you're now holding a ball on your left hand side. You then step out to your right. The left hand pats a dog again, but the right hand makes a move like it was a bumper on a car. Just hold that position for me. Just let your rear heel go down. In Tai Chi, you tend to keep your heel down. That's nice. Just have this hand out a little bit more. It's a little bit bigger, the dog. That's good. Keep your body where it is. Just let your shoulder relax and bring that round a little bit more. The dog is good. Keep the shoulder relaxed. Let that come round just so it's protecting more of you. Bend your front leg just a little. Turn your hips towards me a little. Oops, sorry, turn your hips towards me. No, the other way, sorry, towards me. Yeah. Relax the shoulder so it comes to there. Good. Okay, this move is called Pung, and it's the first of 4 moves that make up a move that together is called Grasp Swallow's Tail. So from Pung, you imagine there's a really pretty dragonfly up in the top right corner, and your hands come up, grab that dragonfly gently, and you bring it back as you sit back onto your left leg, and you bring it back to your left hip. Your hands then come round in front of you with your right hand facing towards you, left hand facing away. And then you press forward and your hands press forward. Good. Let's go to there. So, come back to the beginning. So, bend, step, open, play piano, shift, hold ball. Step, part wild horse's mane, which is look in the mirror, pat the dog. Come up, hold ball. Turn. This move's called Pung, which I think of like a bumper. Up to the dragonfly in the top right. Pull down. This move's called Lu. Pull it back to your left hip. Come round. Hands are now in front, but your weight's still on the back foot. Because then you press forward. Then your hands come apart. You'll love this bit. They come round and down and back and down and back. Don't worry about it. It's a double spiral and it takes a while, right? But don't worry. But basically, you're moving in multiple directions, but we'll get to that in a minute. Okay, from here, relax a minute, because you need to see this from the front, otherwise you'll never get it. Let me just show you what the curvy bit looks like without you trying to do it at the same time. So there's Pung. This is Lu. Think of it as sort of catching a dragonfly, I do. Then you bring it round. Then there's, sorry, that's Lu. Then this is Ji, the press forward. Then the hands come apart, down, and around, and back the other way. Don't worry about it too much, as long as you've got a kind of a circly thing going. You'll see when we look at why you do it, you'll see why. To do it right is nice, but the principle behind it is the bit that's important. Okay, from here, what we're going to do next, we're going to take the weight back onto the left foot. The right toe is going to turn. As it turns, the right hand is going to come down. It's right, we'll do this together in a minute, just watch for now. The right hand then comes up, you take the weight back, and you come to this position where your palm, your fingers on this hand are basically pointing to the crease in the wrist. And then we're going to step out into a move that's called single whip, where this hand is pressing forward, and this hand's got this unusual shape where your finger and your thumb are all together. And this arm here doesn't want to be like that. It doesn't want to be like that. It wants to be kind of in the middle. It wants to be comfortable, smooth, curvy shapes. Yeah? Tai Chi is fundamentally about smooth, curvy shapes. There are probably many Chinese masters who will now have to kill me for sharing that secret with you. But yeah, whereas, you might say, I don't know, Shotokan karate, deep stances, linear, hard, punching, very straight techniques. And not just Shotokan, that's just an example. Nothing wrong with that at all. Linear, hard, strong, good stuff. But Tai Chi chooses to have more circles happening. Yeah, some arts like Bagua, if any of you have ever played Bagua, have even more circles, but think smooth. Okay, so we're going to start from the beginning again. Relax, step. Open. Pivot. Hold ball. Step. Part wild horse's mane. Hold ball. Pung, up to the top right, pull down, Lu. Ji, try and keep your rear heel on the ground. Come back, curly thing, curly-whirly, pretzel-y type thing. Then, right hand goes low as you take your weight to the left and turn the right toe. Come back, single whip. Hold single whip for me, and again I'll come round and say sarcastic things to you. Okay, let this come out to there. This is, turn your hips towards me a little bit, Dave. This is push here, and I'll explain why it's there in a minute. Turn your hip, turn this foot so it's pointing towards me. That's good. And have that hand there, and let this hand come out. It's nice and big and open. That's good. That's good. Okay, I need a volunteer. John, sorry, my apologies, I need somebody big and ugly, and you're only one of those. Right, John, can you do me a favour? Just stand this way. All I want you to do is take that position that you're in just there, single whip. Right, for several of you, what I did was I came in and I brought the arm in a little bit. What I want you to do is put your arm there, and I just want you to resist as I push. And you're a big, strong lad, and you can do it. But what I want you to do is feel where that strength of yours is coming from. And probably a fair amount of it is in your shoulder, yeah? Now, let that drop to there. Now, do you agree with me? And if you don't agree, tell me, because that's what it's about. Do you agree with me that your shoulder was taking less of the pressure and it was more going down to the ground? Yeah? The point is, your center of your body is stronger, and it allows you to get the energy, and I don't mean it in a metaphysical way, just the physical energy, down to the ground, which means your individual joints are taking less pressure, and the planet Earth is helping you. How cool of that? How cool is that? You're in a fight, and you go, my friend's bigger than your friend, and they go, oh, my friend's John, and you go, yeah, but my friend's planet Earth. Let's carry on. So, starting position. Step out. Open. Pivot. Step. Up. Hung. Blue, which is the pulley thing. G, which is a press. On, which is this curvy thing. Right hand goes low, left hand comes in, single whip. Take the weight to the right, pivot, double hook, open. Okay, from here, you're going to pivot the right foot, right hand's going to go low, left hand's going to come on top, and you're going to take your weight back to the right foot. And I'm going to come over here. So we were here, and what we did was pivot, shift weight. Okay, so now your left hand's on top. Now you lift your left hand and your left leg and your right arm. The leg down, this hand comes out here. This hand's patting another big dog. This hand's like waving at a friend. Hold that position for me. You've got nice long arms. That's the smelling thing. Okay, that's good. That's good. Right, John, isn't it? Sorry, John, can I borrow you again? Everybody else relax. Right, we can actually practice this with a partner now. I won't break him, I promise. Right, it's all right, because he's big. Right, okay. John, can you do what you did for me just then? Right, what John did was he had his hand there. Now, you see the, what do you call this? Seam? Seam. How sexist was that, by the way? I do apologise. I looked at a woman for like, I should have looked at a man, shouldn't I? What is that called? No idea, we would have said. But anyway, the seam in the pants leg runs down the middle. John's hand is behind it. What I want you to do is push forward as strongly as you can. Push, 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 push. Right, okay. Now bring your hands here. Push forward as strongly as you can. Come here. Sorry, I've forgotten your name. Kevin, come here, Kevin. Right, John, Kevin is going to hold your hand.
Okay.
You're going to throw him right up into there. Right, you're just going to go whoosh, and Kevin's going to go boom. Okay, hold his hand and you're pushing it. No, kind of hold on to it, like really that. And basically, you, Kevin, for the honour of your family and for the honour of your black belt, you must not let him push you.
Okay.
No, stop him. Okay, John, go. Okay, now, John, bring your hand back to here. Now, Kevin. Now push hard, Kevin. Push, and John, push hard. Yeah? It is they're both cooperating to a certain extent because I mean this is obviously a demonstration. They're both trying to be good and they are both being nice to each other. But genuinely, even if John was a mean, insert word of your choice, yeah, if he was a mean whatever, and he was like, I'm gonna kill the kid. The minute his hand goes behind that center line, the structure of the shoulder is such that your strength is significantly reduced. So the rule is, if I want to fight him, I want to be working from here. I don't want to be working from here. Yeah? It is easier for him to hit me on the nose here than it is for him to do something. It's not impossible, it's never impossible. Yeah? But this structurally is weaker. So when you're patting your dog, whether it be in Part the Wild Horse's mane or any time you're patting your dog, always remember the hand is forward of that centre line. Is that okay? Does that make sense to people? Tell you what, get with a partner and just try that little exercise, pushing forward from here and forward from there. Grab a partner, give it a go. Right, has everybody had a go at that? Yeah? Was I talking BS or does it work like I said? Oh, thank you for that. Yeah? If I say something and it is not true, then you go away having learnt that he said something that wasn't true, so your knowledge has increased. If I say something that you find to be true, then you go away having learnt that I said something that was true, and you then do the clever bit, the bit that makes the really clever student, generally the girls, because girls are smarter than boys, we all know that That wasn't me, by the way, camera. That wasn't me. That was a truck opening. Okay, that one was me. Okay, I'm sorry. Right. The thing is, with any concept, with any principle, it's not just about the fact that this is a good body dynamic and this is a poorer one. It's getting you to hopefully start thinking about what are all the things that I do and all the things that I do that are using good body dynamics, and what are the things I do where maybe the body dynamic isn't that good. And what if, this is if you want to take it up another level, what if I'm in a situation where I haven't got the availability of a good body dynamic? Can I show you an example of this? It's really silly, but I like it. Sorry, John, can I borrow you? I'm sorry, I forgot you. Brian. Right, and can I borrow you, Dave? Okay, Brian, I know we've only just met, but what I'm going to ask you to do is hold my hips fairly firmly so I haven't got kind of a lot of ability. I can't twist my hips. John, I want you to come in sort of somewhere here and hold this arm and my shoulder. So, okay, right, this is good. Right, Dave, I want you to put your nose just about there. Right, come a bit forward, bit forward, bit forward. No, it's not going to hurt much, honestly. Right, one of the principles in Tai Chi and a lot of martial arts is that you should hit with your whole body. It's not just the arm that hits, it's the whole body. Hold tight. I can't hit him with my whole body, but I can still hit him just with that little bit. And if he's in my face and crowding me, boy, I'm going to hit him with that little bit with everything I've got. Yeah, thank you, gentlemen. Right, what I'm trying to say is principles are the foundation on which you build your building, perhaps, but you do not have to be a slave to them. Does that make sense to anybody here apart from me? Thank goodness, because it means I'm not totally crazy. Notice the use of the word totally. Right, let's go back to the form, and we'll do a bit more of it, and then we'll look at something else. Breathe in and relax. Right leg a little, step the left leg. Up to the middle, hands open, go up, go down. Shift the weight. Hold full. Heart wild horses, step up. Hung. Blue. G. Pretzel. No, it's called arm. Pivot, right hand low. Left hand comes up to wrist. Single whip. Double hooks. Strum the loop. Pivot. Weight goes to the right foot. Lift. And now the right hand. You need to move to be able to see the adjustment. Right hand's going to come around. Left hand's going to go up. Both hands are going to point towards the moon. No, they're going to point down. Lift the left leg. Brush the knee with the left hand. Press forward with the right hand. Imagine you're grabbing something, pull it across, and then the hands come low, they cross low, you bring it like this, they come up to shoulder height, you finish. That's the 8 move energy form done. You can go and teach it, charge money for it, move people with it. No, that comes later. Right, what I want you to do now is put your brain to imagine a little switch on the side of your head, and I'm going to get you all to flick the switch in a minute. When you flick this switch, your brain is going to go into high-speed recording and learning mode. Ready? With me? Come on, yeah. We're all going to wait for you. Yes, ready? Flick the switch. Click. Right, okay. First thing, the double hooky things. I plead guilty. It's an invention of mine. It's not normally found as double hooky things in Tai Chi. The reason I put it there was because I wanted my students to get used to this kind of motion, right? So that if somebody grabs, they are familiar with reversals. Is it the only way out of a grab? No, of course not. Will it always work? No, of course not. But the ability to circle like that can be useful in a range of things. That's why I put that in there. So that's blame me for that one. brush knee and push step, that could be a deflection, this can be a strike. There are, you teach G strikes, don't you? That can definitely be a short impact strike. It doesn't have to be wallop, it can be, look at it, with any trouble, and a sudden push. And if you do a sudden push to the shoulder, it does very little damage to somebody. But if you drop down to the solar plexus and drop in there suddenly, forcefully, normally you can find out what they had for breakfast, dinner the night before, and maybe lunch. Yeah, it's very powerful, short impact thing. And whilst you're probably familiar with Wing Chun and Bruce Lee and the 1-inch punch, a lot of martial arts have what is generically called short power. Yeah, long power. Long power. Long power. Bang. Yeah, using, potentially good body dynamics, and you can just move your hands away. That's where I'm going to kick. Bang. That's going to hurt. Wallop. It's going to get the job done. Don't get me wrong. There is nothing wrong with hitting people hard. It's a good thing if well, it's not, sorry, it's a bad thing to hit people. Yeah, hitting people, yeah, I know, I'm sorry. Hitting people bad, unless there is a reason for hitting them. They are bullying you, they're attacking you, they won't give you lots of pocket money, yeah, things like that, yeah. Short power, on the other hand, is what happens when you're here and the person is grabbing you and you haven't got the ability. And if you've done Muay Thai, I would argue that an elbow can be short power because you can, from here, put that into the ribs. Notice my hips are turning, that was the hip holding thing, my hips are turning into it. That's, I would say, short power. From here, that could be short power. From here, see, that's the kind of technique we all want to do, isn't it? It's like splat, go, nose. That's just like, yeah, so there are examples of short power there. Now what was the thing I asked you to remind me about? It was something else, was it? I said oh! The curly whirly thing! Thank you. Fancy the camera lady, camera person, was what's the curly whirly thing about? Okay. Now this is one of those things where I need somebody big but not too big, because otherwise it's embarrassing. So you pick somebody like really strong, it won't. I hope you're not too strong for me to get this to work. Ken, I'm sorry, Ken. Okay, there is a lock that I would call Kotegaeshi, where you take the wrist and you turn it in and that way, and if you do it with a reasonable degree of speed and skill, some days I leave both of those at home, unfortunately, man fall down, go bang. There's an interesting thing about this. What I want you to do is, I want you to resist. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to push in. Okay, and you can resist. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to twist, resist. Now, okay, now what I'm going to do is push in and twist. Yeah? Now, the reason for that is, and I'm sure Bruce would know the technical reason, but the way I articulate it, is the body is good at dealing with force in one direction, and I think some of it is the way the body is structured and some of it is the way the brain processes information. But when you start putting more than one direction in to a technique, 2, 3, whatever number of directions, if you think about it, we exist in 3 dimensions. And yet a lot of our martial arts, can I just borrow you as a, you just stand there as a target, I'm not going to hit you. A lot of martial arts is like bosh, bosh, one direction. Sometimes you'll get really good martial arts, and what a really good martial art does is kind of come around in a couple of directions, yeah? You might be very lucky and find a martial art that works all 3 dimensions, yeah? So the more dimensions you can do in the things you do, the more unpredictable it makes you. It's why boxing, which I'm really bad at, there are many, many things that I'm really bad at, boxing is one of them. Can you punch me on the nose, please? I mean, punch me on the nose. Come, no. Nose, fist, goes for it. That's what I was going to hope to do. Punch again, please. Yeah, a bit faster. Go again. Okay, he's doing it very slow, he's being nice, which is lucky because otherwise I'd have a flat nose. Boxing is good because what boxing does is it works in 3 dimensions. Good boxers work in 3 dimensions, yeah. Here, by working just in 2 dimensions, I get a lot more bang for my buck than if I just do 1 dimension. Can I borrow... Sir, what you... Down. This is confusing. We've got to... Sorry, thank you very much. Round of applause for Ken. Okay, Dan, can you do the same thing? Can you resist my push? Can you resist my turn? Can you resist both? Yes, he can. He is strong enough to resist both. So nothing I teach works all the time. Right, now let's explain what I'm going to do now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to twist and turn, but just before I do it, I'm going to slap him really hard in the testicles. Like, bang! Whoa! Now, did you notice? I didn't slap him really hard in the testicles, but the mere thought of being slapped really hard actually took his mind away for a minute from what I was doing. Yeah? It's why, again, going back to boxing, which, as I say, I'm no good at, but I like some of the principles. What's this called in boxing?
Jab.
What is the purpose in boxing of a jab?
To distract.
To set you up for what I'm going to do next. Now, personally, yeah, that's it, the big one, the finisher. Now, personally, when I throw a jab, I'm not going to hit. When I throw a jab, my intent is to make contact, because in my mind, my intent is for my jab to finish the fight. If you're being a bit aggressive, hasn't got to the fighting stage, but you're about to throw that punch, and I can go bop, and you go ah, and I walk away at that point. That jab was all I needed. Yeah. If I do that, and I think I need more, then I've got a range of other things. And if I go bash, 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 and you're still standing there looking at me kind of like John Wayne, then I give you money and ask, can I join your gang? Right, round of applause. The curly-whirly thing. The curly-whirly thing is about more than one direction of movement. A simple way of looking at it, just grab my wrist. If you grab my wrist, what if you're being aggressive and you grab me, what are you expecting?
Probably just straight up back up.
Yeah, you're expecting me to pull away, and you're kind of ready for this kind of tussle. If I start moving in an unpredictable way, I have an increased chance of disrupting your physical and your psychological readiness to deal with it. If, as well as doing all this, I kick you in the shin, I spit in your face or whatever, then, now some of you are kind of standing there going, yeah, but why doesn't he do technique number 73, which is a surefire way of breaking out of a grab? The reason being, the principle is more important than technique 73. Technique 73, and there's no such technique, but let's just make it up. Technique 73. Technique 73, I'm sure you all know, the way out of any grab, if you can, is to go through the thumbs. But that way, I'm coming out through the thumbs. As I'm coming out through the thumbs, I'm also taking my weight back, so I'm stepping away from the thread, and it's using my body weight rather than just my arms. Yeah, so technique number 73. It works. However, you're now transforming into the Hulk. You come here because you're wearing green, right? Look, he's transformed into the Hulk, and he's really strong. And there are people that are so strong that technique 73 ain't gonna work. Can I ask how much you weigh, sir?
About 65.
Right, so you're a little bit more than me, I think, maybe if I'm lucky. Right? Probably I can make 73 work. But what if I can't? Because there are people out there who, you do that for the camera. Did the camera get that look? That was like, he ain't going nowhere. Yeah. So if technique 73 doesn't work, the principle is bang, away, bosh. The principle is one of multiple dimensions of disruption. Does that make sense? Good, thank you. Right, what we will do is, because of the way memory works and how it's good to repeat things and have a little break like we just did and then repeat things again, what we do is we'll go through the form a couple of times just to get a little bit more of it into you, sort of hardwired, and then we'll move on from there. So, yeah, move if you need to so you can see me. Okay. Now what we're going to add to it this time is I'm going to add in the breathing. Now, I suspect that when we did it before, you all did breathe, because I didn't see any of you turn purple or fall over. But in Tai Chi, and it applies to other martial arts as well, but in Tai Chi the breathing has significance, so we'll talk about it. What we're going to do is we're going to breathe in, and I'm going to step out and breathe out, and then I'm going to breathe in, and I'm going to breathe out, and if possible breathe in and out through your nose, and then I'm going to breathe in, and then I'm going to breathe out. In, out. In, grab the dragonfly. Out, pull the dragonfly back to your hip. Breathe in as you come round to the front. Breathe out as you press forward. Breathe in as you start to do the circly thing. Breathe out as you do the second bit of the circly thing. Breathe in as you come low. Breathe out as you do single whip. Breathe in. Double hook. Breathe out as you open into play peeper. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Okay. You got that, haven't you? That was easy. Right. Actually, the breathing is real easy. The rule is... Where are you? Thank you. Oh, we're holding hands. How nice. Is this our first official date? Right. Sorry. I drink a lot of alcohol. No, I don't actually. Maybe I should. As a rule of thumb, anytime you are pushing, striking, pulling, anytime you're exerting energy, you're breathing out. Anytime you are getting ready to do any of those things, that's when you're breathing in. So, a simple example. I breathe in here, I breathe in here, and I breathe out here, because a possible really simple application from here would just be to drop down and push somebody away. Yeah? I mean, there are other more interesting things you could do with that same move, because you can vary moves, because you are allowed to vary moves. Robert said. Yeah. That's where I'm going to breathe out. It is easier to breathe out when you hit, pull, push. Okay, so that's where the breathing comes. Now, thank you. Sorry, round of applause. Okay, now that's from a fighting point of view, but Tai Chi, as I'm sure you are all aware, is actually probably more famous as a health art than it is as a fighting art in these days. It originally was designed as a way to kill people. I'm going to qualify that. I believe, that's really important, I believe Tai Chi was originally designed as a way to kill people. I do not believe that it was designed, let's say for instance, like Judo. Kano, who invented Judo, wanted to take moves from Jiu-Jitsu, in which he was highly ranked, and wanted to create a sport. One of the rules of a sport is everybody gets to go home. Yeah? One of the rules of battlefield Jiu-Jitsu is I get to go home, you probably don't. So Kano changed Jiu-Jitsu into Judo to make it a sport. A lot of martial arts that are out there, I would argue, are sport martial arts. Some of them know they are sport martial arts, some of them maybe don't. Tai Chi originally... Sorry, Dave, can I just borrow you for a second? Tai Chi, I think, originally was a solution to a very simple question. What do you do when somebody bigger than you, badder than you, is close to you and is trying to kill you? And Tai Chi's answer to that was you kill them first. Yeah? So Tai Chi isn't about, here is a lock, I've got his little pinky. Yeah? No, Tai Chi was about snap, 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 snap. Yeah? So, thank you. So Tai Chi is about killing people, originally. However, you remember I said before about good body mechanics, and you remember I've just said about breathing. One of the things is, would you agree with me, most people in the West have jobs where you're sat down a lot of the time. When you sit down a lot of the time, your lungs, your frame is compressed. You do not breathe fully and deeply. So what people in the West have found, and indeed before that people in the East found it, is that doing Tai Chi and breathing fully and deeply promotes health, because your structure, your posture is good, so you don't get postural abnormalities and postural problems, and your breathing is deep and good, so you're getting more oxygen into the brain, into the system, so that's why it has a health benefit. So when you do the form, if you want to do it just for health and relaxation, that by itself is a perfectly good and valid thing. And the breathing is important, and the breathing should be comfortable and full. You should never be like going and you should equally never be going. You should, when you're practicing by yourself, the speed at which you practice should fit the speed of your breathing, and over a period of time you should relax into it, and then that breathing should get deeper and that breathing should get slower. Make sense? Good. Okay, so we've done the form, we've added breathing in. We're now going to add something else. Do you remember way back I mentioned about the Chinese thing where they say the yi leads the qi, the intent leads the energy? And I showed you that if you just kind of do that without putting any thought into it, it's not what I would call Tai Chi. What we're going to do now is we're going to put energy into it, and we're going to put intent into it. And there's a real simple way of doing this as a beginner level. What you do is you pay attention to and you watch the lead hand. So let me show you what I mean, and I'll explain what I'm doing. So here, I watch both my hands as they come up. I now watch my right hand, and I'm paying attention to it. And now I switch my attention to the left hand, and I watch it get to there. And now I've totally forgotten what comes next. And now I watch my arm, and now I'm watching both hands, and now I'm watching my hands again, and now I'm watching both hands. And I'm paying attention to what those hands are doing. So they're not just moving in a circle. I'm actually watching them like an observer. Now I'm watching this hand, watching that hand, watching it turn. Sorry, I'm adding something in there because I actually teach this a couple of different ways, and I've just went into doing something different there, which I will explain to you in a moment. Watching both. And I'm paying attention, and I'm checking that my balance is right, and I'm checking that I'm in the moment. So I'm not doing this and going, what do I fancy for lunch? What colour car will be the next car? I'm actually paying attention to what I'm doing. That's the intent, that's the yi. That's what gives it life and energy and makes it dynamic. Does that make any kind of sense to anybody? No, good. Right, let's go through the form again. And this time you're going to do the breathing thing, and we're going to pay attention to whatever is kind of most obviously in your field of vision. Breathe in and relax. Breathe in again and begin. Up, grab the press, curly thing, pivot, single whip, hooks, whoa, wibble wobble. Okay, now we will share a couple of the secrets. But one of them wasn't a secret, it was just something I've only done a little while ago, a few months ago, which was a change that I made to the form. I am not a purist. The form that you're learning, which I call the 8-move energy form, is actually the first 7 moves of a 42-move competition form that came out of China. A guy in Australia called Graham Bryant was commissioned. This is as far as I understand it, and I've spoken via email to Graham, so I think my information is right. But you know, bear with me. Graham Bryant was commissioned to write a book on Tai Chi. He was pretty much told the book will be yay thick, and in that we want a form. And so what he did was he took the first 7 moves plus a closing move of this 42-move competition form, and that became an 8-move form. One of my students found this form a few years ago, and we just liked it, and so we started teaching it, and we started making some subtle modifications to it, because originally I started teaching it to advanced students as an advanced form with certain concepts that some of you may be aware of, things like Jing we built into it, which I've now deconstructed again. Over the years, though, what I've done is I've tweaked it slightly in a variety of ways when I've wanted to get certain learning principles across to my students. Because although on one hand I have trained with people who will faithfully transmit as best they can what was transmitted to them by the father of the grandfather of the... I also come from lineages where it's perfectly okay to make things up as you go along. And I sit somewhere in the middle, so I'm happy to do stuff that's traditional, and I'm also happy, if I need to, like with the hooks, as I said, I'm happy to change things. Another change I made a few months ago, which I'd completely forgotten about, is after the first single whip, what I've been having my students do is that. And in fact, I was thinking just the other day, when I get back to England, I'm probably going to change it again, so that what my students will do, they will come single whip, and they're going to do that. Anybody except for Bruce, because it wouldn't be fair. Whoa, what's the buggy thing? He's a big buggy thing. I like bugs. Sorry? All right, here we go. Ready? Catch him. You mustn't squash him, though. If you squash him, it doesn't count. You really freaked me out there, Bree. Right, can the camera show Bree cuddling? Right, go behind her again, Bree. Go behind her, right? This is what I saw. I saw a person with 4 arms. I thought, whoa, what's going on? I know those Americans are strange, but I didn't know they were... Anyway, sorry, where was I? Yes, Dragonfly, before the Dragonfly, where was I? What was I talking about? The 3 moves, right? So we'll ignore, I think Bruce will probably get it real quick, but anybody else, why am I going to teach my students instead of that? Why am I now teaching them, or going to teach them that? Who wants to have a guess? And there are no wrong answers. No, I mean, a good point, but no, that's not why I actually intend to do it. I will give you a clue. Can I borrow you for a second? John, isn't it? Okay, right. John, as we know, Bree's told me, John is a mean troublemaker, and he walks around town beating up little guys who wear glasses, right? And John comes up to me and he grabs me and he says,
I'm going to beat you up.
I go, oh, please don't beat me up, John. And he says,
I'm going to beat you up anyway.
So what I do is I hit him. I go, bang, and I hit him as hard as I can. And John goes, ha, ha, ha. What do I do? Apart from wee my pants and cry a lot. What else do I do? Yeah! And what do I do? And what do I keep doing until he stops threatening to beat me up? Keep hitting him. So the concept I want to get across to my students with this is real simple. If at first you don't succeed, try again. This could be a strike, right? But it could be that he's big enough and strong enough to intercept that somehow. In which case, I'm not saying it's a good technique. I'm just saying it's a training principle. If the first thing you do doesn't work, don't be afraid to do something else. Round of applause for John. Thank you, John. So, again, what I'm trying to teach people here isn't do this move 73 times. It looks really cute. And actually, if you do it right, if you do it with this arm, right, watch this arm. Right, what's this arm doing at the moment? Yeah, now, if I do it. Now I'm putting some whole body movement in there. So I'm actually trying to get my chest muscles to work in a unified way. A simple, I don't know, sort of bear huggy type thing. Here, I want these muscles to expand in a unified way. That would be as a technique, it would be expand, hit, move, push, perhaps, or whatever you fancy. but I want the whole body, wherever possible, to do as much as possible. So here, yes, there is some stuff happening here as well, but the fundamental principle, and I will give credit to that principle for somebody. There's a gentleman out of England, he's now somewhere up in New Jersey, I forget where, southern part of New Jersey, a guy called Vince Morris. And years ago, I was at a seminar with Vince, and what he was teaching, can I borrow you for a minute, David? Right, do you remember, I'm sure everybody's gone through this, the bad guy grabs you like this, and what you do is you do like a scrape down the shin, or you stamp on the foot, and then you do the headbutt thing, bang, and then he lets go and you go away. Right, and a lot of martial arts schools will teach that. So the bad guy grabs you, you go bosh, bosh, and you walk away. And Vince said something that left a lasting impression. What Vince said was, the bad guy might not let go. What do you do then? And there was a lot of us who kind of just went, ooh, because our instructors had never said. And what Vince said was, do it again. And we thought, oh yeah, that might work. So you go, doof, 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 and you keep doing something until, and so it's the same here. If at first you don't succeed, keep doing stuff. And it doesn't actually have to be the same stuff. So that's why there's generally meant to be 2 of those in there, but I forgot to teach you that today. But I've taught you it now, and I've given you the extra one ahead of my students in England, so actually you're one up on them. Yeah. Something else I'll share with you, 2 other things I'll share with you. Eagle vision I'll share with you, and cow. Eagle and cow. Except eagle means eagle, and cow doesn't mean it means, I think it's Kao, it's a Chinese term. Eagle first of all. You remember I said about watching what you're doing? That is beginner level, and it is perfectly okay, and you stay with that level for as long as it works for you in terms of getting your intent in what you're doing, be it a punch, be it a kick, whatever, your intent going where your body wants to go. Eagle vision is slightly different, and I'm sure Bruce will know about this. It may be under a different name. Eagle vision from a Western perspective is, oh, that's good. That's just the look I want. Keep the look. Keep the evil eye. Right, he's giving me the evil eye. Here the bad guy giving me the evil eye. Right, you're the gang leader. Right, you're the gang leader. And here we have gang member number 2. And you're here. You're his number 2, right? Okay, come here. You're definitely in the gang. I can tell you're the mean, vicious sort. You're going to be number 3, right? And come here. We'll have you. You're gang member number 4, but you're just back here somewhere. Okay, this is the plan that the gang has agreed upon. When the old guy walks down the street, the gang leader will speak to him and will say bad and rude things to him to intimidate the poor old guy to try and get his wallet. If they get the wallet, then they'll beat him up anyway, because old guys need beating up. It's a well-known fact amongst the young. However, if anything should go wrong, then your job is to sneak up behind and whack them hard so you can beat them up. Now, if I focus on the moment, I come up and he engages me in conversation, and the adrenaline kicks in, and I get tunnel vision, and all I am seeing is this, and very bad things are going to happen to me. Eagle vision is the idea that I can see. Can you move for me? I can see you. I can see you right up until about there. Now you're just invisible to me. Now move that way a little bit. Now I can see you, and I can see your feet, and I can see your hands, and I can see you. Because what I'm doing is I'm defocusing, right? So I'm trying to counter the effects of adrenaline surge by a conscious, practiced mechanism. Now, this is something I am big on. A lot of people will tell you, and they are partially right, that you cannot counteract the effects of adrenaline surge. The fight or flight mechanism is hardwired into us, and if you, I'm like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, he's going to kill me, kill me, kill me, then I become focused and that whole thing takes over. However, my counter argument is, yes, but that only happens if the fight or flight mechanism kicks in and the adrenaline surge happens. What happens if I'm looking at this person being aggressive to me and thinking, oh, he's cute, oh, He's going to give me an opportunity to practice all that great stuff that I was learning at Bruce's. All I'm doing is playing a mind game. We were chatting about neurolinguistic programming before. Neurolinguistic programming is all about playing little games in your mind. If you get the mind playing games, right? Do you remember the little people? Sorry, excuse me. Hi, little people. Come and say hi to the little... Oh, I'll bring them over to you. Remember the little people. Look, 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 there they are. Hey, look, he's on a bicycle. How cute is that? In my mind's eye, that's what I see. What colour's the bicycle? What colour's the bike? Go on, imagine a little person there. What colour bike would they be? Tricycle. It's a tricycle. What colour is it? Red. Sorry, he nearly fell over. I shook him so badly. Okay. Bike. Yeah, you can do that in your brain. So here I am in this confrontational situation, and I'm actually going to go, I'm not going to buy into this have an argument thing. I don't want to have an argument with you. I want to be nice. I want to be friendly, and I can see what's going on. Does that make any kind of sense to anybody? Hopefully, maybe. Yeah? Will it work every time? Probably not, exactly. I'll tell you, I'll go one better than probably not. Not. It will not work every time. Have you ever read reports? Thank you very much. Round of applause for my really beautiful assistants. Yeah! Have you ever read reports of people that were in a terrible car wreck? I mean, a really no hope of car wreck, but survived. Have you heard recently there was a plane crash and a kiddie survived? Yeah? Have you heard of people that got shot and should have died but survived? The answer is bad things happen and people sometimes beat the odds. Equally, I know a story of, you've got to remember we drive on the other side of the road in England, but it wouldn't matter. Imagine you're on would you call it a 3-lane or a 6-lane highway where you've got 3 lanes either side? 3-lane highway. You're driving your car slowly on the outside, yeah? On the outside, like a quarter of a mile down the road coming towards you, is a huge truck, a big, what do you call them, semi or, yeah? This semi sheds a wheel. The actual axle breaks and the wheel breaks off the truck. It bounces across the road from one side of the road to the other, missing pretty much every vehicle. And the woman that was in this little car on the outside lane, as far away as you could be, it hit her car and she died instantly. Bad things can happen. Good things can happen. There are things that happen that we can't control. There are a lot of things, however, that we can control or can attempt to control if we practice. Why do we keep practicing martial arts? Yeah, come September, I will start my 40th year practicing martial arts. Now, there are 2 reasons why I do this. One, because I'm still not nearly as good at it as I'd like to be, and I'm happy to admit that. But secondly, by practicing it, you increase your odds of survival. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay, enough talking. Said I'd show you an application. I'm going to show you an application from the form we just did. Let me think. What am I going to do? Yeah, Dave, come on, you. Okay, let's have you stood. Sorry, I'm aware of the camera. Let me show you an application, and I want you... Actually, you guys are probably going to need to come over to that side because I'm going to be working to his inside rather than his outside to start with. And I want you to be able to figure out where in the form... Right, so I want you to, in your mind, remember the form that we just did. Throw a kind of... Oh, there's a common assault in England. I don't know how common it is. In England, a very common assault is a lead leg, is a step with a leg and the punch same side. That's a common assault. Can you hit me like that? Doof. Yeah, thank you. Okay, can you do it again? And I shall now defend you. Boff, 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 boff. Okay, now what did I do? Let's break it down. Okay, he punched. I've kind of ducked out the way I blocked. I don't really remember. I think I hit him. I put an elbow in. I sort of struck up here somewhere. I kneed him. I came underneath and I pushed him away. Was all that in the form I showed you? Do you remember each one of those moves? I would say no. In terms of the moves, I would say no. So why am I saying this is an application of the form then? It goes back to this thing about principles. First principle, he goes to hit me. I move and I'm letting my weight take his strike. And the kind of block I use doesn't matter. here, here, here. What matters is that I'm getting my body structure such that as much as possible of this impact is going to transmit itself through my muscles down to the ground. So it's not about me being stronger than him or as strong as him. It's about good structure. Good structure fundamental to Tai Chi. Here, boff. I'm going to hit him with my whole body. Boff. Watch if I break that down. Here, boff. I'm going to exaggerate the moves a little bit. Boff, whole body. Boff, whole body. Sorry, I think I actually did boff, boff, whole body. Boff. It would probably be technically better, boff, if you did that, but I'm not going to worry. Here, coming down, whole body. Look at my hips move there. Come back, if you would, sir. Here, whole body. Get position. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm trying to do this pretty much instinctively. I'm trying to find a position where, if you were to draw a line between his two legs, his 2 feet, the center, if you project that this way, that's where I want to push him. It's not where he's weakest. He's actually weakest that way. But because of the way our feet are shaped, if you push somebody across their line of balance, that tends to be where it's more difficult for them to regain balance. If I push you where you're weakest, we're kind of used to that, yeah? I mean, it can work, don't get me wrong, it can work. But in this application, so hit, good structure, bang, bosh, bosh, or bosh, bosh. There's obviously a bosh there. Any bosh that you get for free, buy one, get one free, bosh. Boshes to the groin are good. And if you boshed him in the groin there and his head started coming forward really quickly, then you wouldn't do this bit, then you would just bring an elbow up here. Because it's not the technique, it's not the technique, it's not the principle, it's that I get to go home. Here, push. The push isn't with my arms. Yes, obviously the muscles fire, but the push is everything I can bring into play. The muscles in my leg. If I can bend my back, then even the muscles in my back can help me push him. Yeah, I will use every advantage I have. So what I want you guys to practice now with a partner: punch, block, and once you get the block up, do it slow, but then just put a bit of weight onto that. No, right, young man. I do not wish your belly to touch the floor. I wish you to put your weight through the arm and lean into me. There we go. Lean in. Take your weight back a little bit. Now pivot your hips into this. Into. Now push with it. Yeah, that's a bit better. Now I can feel a bit more weight on the arm, and I'm having to work, and my knee is feeling it. So I'm going to alter my structure slightly. That's better. Now I can hold him here. It's not comfortable, but I can hold him. Now I'm going to fire that here. I'm going to take my hip back slightly, pop that into him. Now here I'm a little bit far away, so I'm not shy. I'm going to step in as I hit him there. I'm really nice and friendly now where I like to be. I'm going to squat down a little bit, because if I've hit him, I should have enough time just to go like that. Yeah, if he's so big and tough that and that haven't done anything, then probably this one ain't going to hurt him either. So here I'm going to take the time in practice to squat down, and then I'm going to be a space rocket. Ready? 1, 2, 3, space rocket! Come round, I can slap him in the groin, here, here. Grab a partner, stay with me if you would, Dave, and we'll do that all together, and then we'll let you practice it. Everybody got a partner? Okay, so decide who's the bad guy and who's the good-looking good guy. Okay, so bad guy throws roundhouse punch. Good guy blocks the punch. Good. If you need to step in, step in. Get the hip behind the shot, bang, fire that shot in. Yeah, so just to for now, just make the first shot to the stomach. Then, bang, get that elbow in. Drop down a little bit, come up with that big shot. Come round, groin shot if you want it. Come under, get position so you're now fairly safe. Push them away. Grab a partner. David, thank you very much. Round of applause, Dave, my beautiful assistant. Although his beard tickles. No, don't ask her that. Right. Right, grab a partner, do that a few times. Now, I'm going to ask you a favor. Most of you here are very good martial artists, and I know that not only can you do what I've just asked you to do, you can do 73 different variations of it and 43 things that are similar but different. I would ask you just for a few minutes while I go around and get this bit of it where I want it to be, that you just do what I asked you to do, because then I can give you some of the underlying principles. Whereas if you're doing something else, however effective the something else is, then it may be working off of different principles, which isn't wrong, it's just different. So if we stay with this for now, give it a go. So punch, block the punch. Now lean into them for a minute, so feel them leaning into you, and feel that energy going down to your leg. Then hit them, elbow them. If you're big enough, hit them with a heel of palm strike. Then come under, you can slap the groin, come under, switch the hand out the way, move position on their body so you can push them. Make it a big, you've gone up, big sweep. Now, for this one, sorry, I didn't mean to spit at you, I did, but right, normally I like to be here. We can pinch their nipples, or other things. Right, this is basically where I like to be in a fight. See, that's this is where I want to be. This is called lunchtime. I don't know if you ever watched True Blood. It's my favorite film. I haven't. We do get it, but I don't. Now, this is the best place to be. But in this particular case, I actually want to work from the side, because that way gets the person you're pushing used to this sideways push. And something you've got to remember is what we tend to train the winner all the time, and we tend to forget to train the loser. What you want is, if you push me this way, I actually want to be able to figure out through practice, what the hell do I do when that happens to me? Because we might be on the street chatting, and we're just talking, and some guys just accidentally, no intent, just trips and pushes. And if there's a big truck coming that way, that ability to recover after 2 steps rather than 3 might just save my life in an accident. So that's why I look at the loser as well as the winner. Okay. The other thing I noticed is bosh, and from there, if you're going to fire the elbow, for now, just fire it straight into the same spot. Bang, bang. If you haven't got enough folding room, right, then think about a short. I can still get some effect. I mean, unless he's huge. There is a point at which you go, I want to be in your gang, please. But then, of course, you're low for this and that. I mean, most people, that is a fight finisher, because most people, you never get to this stage, because that should really, throw the punch. I'll tell you once you know. I block the punch. This is the important bit. I try and get the energy going down there. And I am deliberately flinching a little bit because I wasn't expecting it. Bang, I fire that one in. Bang, fire that one in. Or bang, I fire. The order doesn't matter. Bang, bang. Right, bang. Now from here, strike. For me, that just works. I tend not to move arms until I need to. So I haven't needed to move this arm, so I've been keeping that there, because if I take it away, you could hit me. Maybe not even intentionally.
Pull it back.
Yeah. Oh, and I mean, that's the other thing. I mean, obviously, once I've got contact, then So, anytime, sorry, I forgot your name. Ken. Ken just got me thinking. Ken made me think. So, right, let me share something with you. Throw the punch, Ken. I block, and it's a kind of a flinch response block. And we were talking about what's going on here, but this is important too. Why am I leaving my hand here? Because obviously once I've gone bosh, this hand is probably falling away, And so really what I probably could do is I could go block, strike, and that hand's probably going to fall down, bosh, because I'm working him. But there is a reason for keeping contact. I want to keep contact because as soon as that arm does move, I can transit into something else. Now, Bruce will fill in the mechanics of what's going on there, but basically, my way of looking at it is once you've established contact, you no longer have to think and watch. the contact gives you a feedback loop that means as soon as he starts to move, I can feel it. And I had my eyes closed there, and it was real easy because I'm not using conscious processes. I'm using, so tactile something or other, feedback. So that's why I keep that there. Bang, bang, and I'll move if I have to, in or out. I'm not worried. But the minute something, because the way we practice it is with this hand just staying there until you clear it. And it could be that it happens like that, because have you ever been hit and just kind of gone, ooh? I have, more than once. And you go, oh, that really hurt. And your body's just like, because it doesn't want to move anything because it's focusing on like wherever the pain is. And you're going, I knew I shouldn't have done that, right? And so it is perfectly possible. Punch comes in, bang! It's possible for that to stay there, bang, bang, wallop. But if it moves, I've got an option. If it stays there, then I go to this. Now, Ken originally asked, is there any significance in this cross position? Well, if I wanted to be clever and retrofit it, I could say, well, do you remember in the form at the end we do that, because that's how you finish the form, yeah? So I could say, oh, well, of course, in the form, didn't you see when the punch comes in, it's this and this. I must admit, I had no idea it was there, right? And that's another thing. You know, you can always retrofit things. But, I mean, for me, I like that as a strike. So long before that punch gets to me, I can use that as an aggressive technique. But if I'm using that, the nice thing is my body is comfortable with this shape. So my body has found a use for it. Sorry, I'm changing to something I want to do later. Yeah, does any of that make sense? Okay, just do that a few more times. Because not all conflicts start like this, but a lot do. It's very much hardwired into us, especially men. It's like, yeah, you want some of me? And you get this kind of, and you can do some of that. Yeah, a lot of conflict is face-to-face. You very rarely see people fighting like this. Okay, I'm going to really beat that. It doesn't work. Just try that very quickly. Go up to get your partner and get in front of them and go, I'm going to kick your head in, and then come to the side of them and just try it. Try and be like, give it a go. It feels really weird. That's hardwired into our biology. Yeah, but try and be verbally aggressive too. Try and get angry with somebody that's to the side of you. It's genuinely like it feels wrong, doesn't it? It's wrong. Yeah. Now there is a little clue there. If somebody is being aggressive towards you and it hasn't reached too high a level, if you can change this dynamic and you can go, well, you know what? I think you're completely right. I'm sorry. All of a sudden, it's really hard now. It's not impossible, and you do need the physical confidence because you're now, to a certain extent in the danger zone. It's not like, oh, I'm sorry, please, I do apologize. This is a safer way of being. But in terms of calming a situation down, it's like, yeah, I was thinking, I'm so sorry. And all of a sudden, for this guy to be aggressive towards you is harder. It's not impossible, but it's harder. So anyway, getting back to the main thing. Here we are, punch comes in. I'm going to step out to absorb some of that shock. Bosh, bosh, bosh. That's really not important, but it's always nice to have some boshes in there. Yeah, when all else fails, hitting people is fun. And I'll talk about how we hit big people as opposed to people of pretty much our own size in a minute. Okay, what we were doing there was coming to this side position. What I want to do here is I want to go to my favorite fighting position. My favorite fighting position is here. I can see over your shoulder now. That's good. Right, this is where I like to be. Because from here I can put my tongue in his ear and freak him out completely. I can bite his ear up. I can, do the True Blood thing. Now you will be one of my minions forever. Yeah? Or, are you okay if your back's okay if I take you down? I can just walk away. And if that's a concrete floor and if he's not expecting it, he is probably going to stay there. Yeah. It depends how bad a person he is. It depends how drunk he is. But if it's just some guy on the street I don't know, you're walking down the street, you're not paying attention, you bump into somebody, and you go, oh, I'm sorry, and that's not good enough. He's not having any of that. He wants an argument because he's a big, and he throws that punch, bop, 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 round to here. Yeah, now I changed the technique there, I apologise. The first time I did it, I came in, I took his balance. If you want to do this really easily, sorry, can we just turn it 90 degrees? Hand comes around, lean on them, and as you do, this area here, just stick a little bit in there. It'll just pull them towards you. You can bite them if you want to. It's actually probably not very good to bite them. You can do that. That's nice too, covering their nose and eyes. That tends to be real scary for most people. How is this for you?
Not good.
Not good. Yeah. And then you can be friendly. You don't have to whack their head into the concrete. You can just go, look, my friend, fighting bad, right? Yeah. Yeah. You don't have to kill everybody you meet every day. Wednesdays and Fridays, maybe that's okay, but Mondays, Tuesdays, yeah. So, what we're going to do, just to break it down, punch comes in. We block the punch. Bosh, 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 bosh. Come round. Keep going round. Come under here. There are loads of ways of doing this. I'm not going to teach you the best way of doing it. I'm just teaching you. Lever back. I'm actually controlling the arm here slightly, but you can push into here as well. Once I'm comfortable, I'm letting him rest against me because I want to control what happens next. I'm in control. Most martial artists are control freaks. Use it. Thank you. Round of applause. Right, give that a go. Be gentle with your partners. It's teaching me to hit with my whole body. It's not just the hand moving. It's the whole body. It's teaching me about movements. Although there's not a lot of movement in that form, in Tai Chi your movements have to be very precise. So it's teaching me to be to the right place at the right time. It's teaching me to kill people I don't like. No, sorry, forget that. We're not doing that. There's children present. Remember what I said, killing people bad. Except, no, it is. It's always bad. Right, so we've got punch, we've got grounding, we've got body dynamics, we've got movement, we've got taking somebody's balance, we've got avoiding being hit in the head by their head. Yeah? Once you get somebody to here, if you cannot win a fight from here, you have not been paying attention. Blast! That knee goes. Yeah? This is going, and then I'm going to switch and take him that way. Yeah? And I'm not going to do that pretty and gently and letting him come up. I'm going to go, boom! Yeah? Because another thing that is in Tai Chi, although it's very often hidden, is a thing called Jing. Sorry, quick show of hands. Who's heard the term Jing before? Great, most of you. Those that haven't, I'll explain. Can I borrow you for a second? Sorry, just realised. Let's come a little bit closer to the camera, because then we can... Now, I'm about to show you really bad Jing, and I make no apology for this. I know it, but I'm not great at it. Jing is a sudden whip-like motion. It should come throughout the whole body, and it should go through the person. Now, obviously, I'm not doing the through the person bit, because that would hurt. But what I'm trying to do is make this hand, from the energy, I'm pushing that heel into the ground, I'm tensing all those muscles up, driving this hip explosively forward, and letting this hit. And the important bit is this stays relatively relaxed. So it's not, as I might do, some of the karate I do, punch, block. That's effective. That'll work. Yeah, that's good in terms of I've got room for expansion of the punch. But it's the whole body being tight. Jing. Did I say to hit me? Oh, you want? Oh, okay. You can hit me then. Jing is this really relaxed, and the idea is, again, you take this home with you, and what you do is you get a pad, you know the kind of pads that you put your fingers in and you punch, focus mitt. You get one or maybe you get two, depending on how big and strong you are and how big and strong your partner is. And you get your partner to hold an imaginary focus mitt about there. And you stand like this, and not in a good stance or anything, it really wants to be from like, hey man, I don't want any trouble. And you want to get, with this focus mitt there, just give me a couple of hands. You really want to get a feeling that it's going to go into them. And as I say, I'm not real good at this, but I guarantee if I do that and push it in, he's going to go oof. And he only needs to go oof for about 1/10 of a second. A fight happens in tenths of a second. Let me show you. Punchy thing. I have about 1/10 of a second before he realizes that punch didn't work. So what's he got to do? Something else. So in that 1/10 of a second, if I can hit him, that now gives me 1/10 of a second before he resets. As long as everything I'm doing is happening quicker than he can respond, I get to go home safely. If at any point I go, now, wait, excuse me, I'm trying to remember what Robert said in the seminar. Now, can you just do the first technique? Right, first technique. Right, now, hold on. Now, Robert said, oh yeah, I hit him, right. Now he's angry with me, right, because I've just hit him. Okay, do you remember, was it the elbow or was it the palm strike? Do you remember? He's really angry with me now, I've got to be quick. He's just about to hit me. Okay, it was the elbow, bang. Oh, that's good. Now he's in a lot of pain. Is he going to be angry with me now? Oh, yeah. Okay, am I going to be able to take some time here to think what comes next? No. It's very quick, yeah? So Fa Jing is about being relaxed. And it works from anywhere. It's like, hi. Yeah, little hip twist, little flick, man fall down. If you want to hit here with Fa Jing, into there.